or simply as Kate, the goddess of sorcery, magic, and witchcraft. So like I said, Hecate was known as the goddess of witchcraft and the goddess of the crossroads. And that's why the goddess Hecate, or Kate, has the last name Middleton, as in the mid-L, the mid-L of the crossroads, where the worlds of death and life intersect. So let's take a deep look into the world of witchcraft with Hecate. So Isis, Diana, or Hecate is the moon goddess that takes about 28 days to make one complete cycle around the earth. And the lunar visual phase from the earth takes about 29.5 days. And this time period gives us our moon, or month, which is 13 cycles in one solar year, or 4 sections of 13 weeks. And that's why every 28 days, or 13 times a year, the women have a menstrual cycle, which is why it's called the mean star Ra-El. And that's why 13, or the M, is related to the goddess, exactly like witchcraft, which is why they have a coven of 13, and the high priestess, or the goddess, is the Most High. And the coven comes from the covenant, or the contract membership to their god, or their moon, or their monarchy. And like the word coven, we have the word cow. And anyone knows that a W is actually 2 V's put together. So a cow is really a cove, the coven of the moon. Like the celestial mother cow goddess of Isis or Hathor. And that's why they have us humans drink the milk from the goddess cow. And that's exactly why they tell us that the galaxy is called the Milky Way. And why do you think that cows have the bell, which is known as a cowbell? I mean, have you ever heard of a mouse bell or a pig bell? Because the bell comes from Baal, which is the bull god cow. And like I said before, that is exactly why you have to pay bail in order to get your freedom. And that's exactly why we have a freedom bell, or liberty bell. And that's why we have the ancient sacrifices to the Moloch, or the Baal, the bull god Baal goddess, or god Baal-El. Like the story of the Hebrew Bible of the golden calf, or the golden cow that was worshipped or covened by the Israelites. And of course the story includes child human sacrifice. And that's why we have the Hebrew moon ark coven, or the Ark of the Covenant, which is where we get our moon god Yah, or the Hebrew god Yahweh, the 5-pointed goddess star of the pentagram, or the tetragrammaton. And that's exactly why the Hebrews follow their god Yahweh according to the phases of their god, the moon. And it's the same exact story with the Ark of the Covenant from the Egyptians. And of course, the Hebrew Israelites say that the Ark of the Covenant, or the Coven of the Moon, comes from Mount Sinai, which is the mountain of the moon, or the Mount of the Whore, Mount Horeb, which is the sexual union on Mount Sinai, the moon mountain of sin. And that's why they tell us that the Ark of the Covenant is held at the Holy of the Holies in the sacred place called Solomon's Temple, which is a diagram of sex magic, the union of the male and the female. And exactly where the Ark of the Covenant is exactly where the Holies of Holies is, which is where the penis insertion meets the female uterus. And that's why the Ark of the Covenant is inside of a golden box, which is the sacred female box of the golden honey. And the box in this case is called a golden box, which is filled with the sacred gold of milk and honey. And that's exactly why where the tip of the female delta or her opening is where Mount Sinai is located. And if you saw my earlier explanation of Moses and the Israelites, which is the exodus of the sperm going into the female, and that's the whole sex story of the sex magic of the Moses story in the Bible, which is why Moses leads them to the land of milk and honey, which is the female goddess. And don't forget that King Solomon worshipped Baal. And that's why the Illuminati worship the bull god moon, which is the bull penis of the Washington Monument, the monument. And that's why America was built upon the virgin state of Virginia, the virgin state of 13 colonies, with their penis, the obelisk. And we see the United States of America, Washington, D.C., is set up exactly like Solomon's Temple, which is the temple of sex, the symbolism of intercourse. So we see the sacred church, or the goddess church, has the sacred goddess chalice, as does witchcraft, which is why their sacred rituals use blood, the blood of the female, the goddess liquid, and the goddess chalice, which is the symbol of the female. And of course, the sword, the hard, sharp, phallic sword, is the phallic symbol of the penis. And that's why the symbol of the maypole penis is the symbol of the United States, because America was founded in the month of May. And the traveling fools came over during the month of fools, the month of April, where they tell us that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And now you know why the Titanic was made in Belfast, Germany. So now you know why the Titanic, the Black Saturn, crashed into the sacred pole during the 13th hour on the night of the Black Moon of Death. And that's why the royal monarchy killed Princess Diana, the moon goddess, on the night of the Black Moon of Death, on the 13th pillar, on the 13th hour, and the end of the month when the moon dies on the 31st. Again, we see the black car crashing into the white bell pole, which is a common theme for the royals. Not to mention the black and white cars, like the black and white symbolism found at the attack of the Royal Dutch Queen in the Netherlands. You know, the same Royal Dutch that have jurisdiction over North America, as in the Royal Dutch shell, she, he, hell, L, as in Prince Bernhard, the one who began and started Bilderberg, the same Dutch that discovered New York, or Manhattan. It was called the New Amsterdam, or the New Netherlands, the Manhattan, which is the crazy, loony, Mad Hatter. And that's why Manhattan means the man mind, or the intelligence, the ancient pagan grounds of the wise ones, or the intoxicated people. And that's exactly why New York is full of crazy people, like the crazy, loony Mad Hatter.